Hi there, my stargazers, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Moments. This is a special video that I have put together for my Taurians out there, my dear Taurians, whom have just congratulations! You made it through the final descent. I make these videos, made it last year for Aries and then Pisces and so forth. Throughout the years, because it's kind of important to pat yourself on the back and congratulate yourself when you make it through a final descent. Now, let me explain to you what I mean about a final descent. It's the last 3 houses before your first house. When Jupiter moves through the 10th, 11th, and 12th house, it can be a very difficult time, because I call it the final descent in the sense because I see it as though, like, when Jupiter is in your first house, you have a 12-year journey with Jupiter, right? So it starts off in the first house and then it goes to second, third. You're coasting for a while and then you start to come down. I call it the final descent. When it's in the 10th, 11th, and 12th house, it's like closing out a journey of a period of time in your life. So that can be very difficult for those of you who maybe have had to let go of some things that maybe you didn't want to let go of, had to say goodbye to certain things in your life. It's a closing out cycle, especially when it goes through the 11th house for you, Taurus. That was 2 years ago. It was moving through your house of close associations and friendships and so forth. We can sometimes see our friendships or close associations fizzle out at that time. Like, for example, I always tell people about myself when I was going through final descent, and in my 11th house was when one of my best friends moved away. She had moved out of town and, far enough away that I wouldn't be seeing her on a regular basis except through FaceTime and so forth. It was a sadness, it was a loss that I felt. And also, too, I had lost my dog during that time. My dog was with me for 16 years. I had to say goodbye to him. And so a lot of times there can be a lot of closing out and some sad moments, very tragic moments. Sometimes we lose loved ones during that time and so forth. I mean, we lose loved ones and things happen in our lives at any time during our journey, but it seems to be more profound. And then when it moves into the 12th house, we're kind of like, we've gone through this major transition in our career in 10th house and career 11th house when it comes to, the people closest to us, our close associations. And then we enter into the 12th house, which is about the behind the scenes, hidden enemies, those kinds of things which can come to the forefront. It can be a very trying time. Now, you, my dear bulls, you have just been going through something like that. Sometimes it feels like you're going through a meat grinder. It can be very, very rough, and each individual will have different circumstances going on, and it depends on what age you are, older as opposed to, younger Taurians. It's going to be obviously affecting you in different areas and in different ways. I'm just making this video because I have told you guys on your tarot weekly, tarot monthly tarot stuff that I was going to be making the video like I make for everybody. Now, I make it to help you understand some of the things that maybe you've been going through during this time frame. It's been a rough go. The Taurians, I do know, have been going through some rough transitions and so forth. So at least I make this video, I put it out there, and some of the Taurians who will see it maybe will identify with what I'm saying and go, okay, that makes sense. Now I know what's been happening here. So I bring peace by making these videos to the signs who completely recognize what I'm saying. And that's what the video's for. Also to give you encouragement that 2024 should be looking way up for you this year. You should be feeling a lot better, feeling the release. Some of you probably started feeling the release last year, but this is the year, the first year where you're going to be building. These are the building blocks, the first year of the next 12-year cycle. You're going to be building. This is a time to reach out, to grab opportunities. Remember, Jupiter is the great benefactor. When it's in your first house, it can bring you some really good opportunities, as well as you yourself tend to feel much better physically, mentally, emotionally. It's almost like a big fog is lifting off of you. It's like that black cloud that's been hanging over your head for the last few years has been, is starting to sort of get out of the way. And the sun is shining now. It's kind of like the sun card in the tarot, where you feel your vitality is coming back. You feel much better. Your head starts to feel clearer. So move towards those energies. And then the tendency when it's in the first house is to sometimes think that this is just a temporary, a false thing, and then I'm going to end up, having things not work out, because you're so used to having things not work out, for example. It's a struggle when you're in your final descent to have things. You can have something sort of dangled in front of you, but you try to reach out to it and grab it, and it seems to just slip between your fingers. It's that type of thing. And then when we finally get into the first house, where we're on solid footing and we feel right, but now we feel like, hey, is the universe trying to trick me again? Are you trying to get me to reach out only to have it slip through my fingers? Well, I'm here to tell you that when it's in the first house now, it won't be. This is the time to grab and believe in the new opportunities that are ahead of you. It's also a time to let go of what has happened in the past. I always tell people, you have a fresh path before you. Choose wisely. A lot of times people in their final descent who finally get out tend to be angry over what they've just experienced. Some people have done that, where they get really upset and they still hold on to the grudges and so forth of the things that happened in their final descent, and they find it hard to let go of them. But I always encourage movement forward. Let go of it as best as you can, because you need to not tie up that energy anymore in holding on to things that no longer serve you in your life. This is a fresh start for you. There's fresh choices before you. Choose wisely and move in that direction. Another note I would like to make about Jupiter in Taurus in 2024, it will be here for a period of time, and then in, I think, late May, it will slip out and move into Gemini. When it's in Gemini, that's your second house of finance. That's the time to push through. Remember, again, Jupiter is the great benefactor. It could bring you to a lucky point. Now, you could find yourself in 2024 and 2025 having a lot of lucky breaks when Jupiter is in Gemini. So when it is, push forward, but also too, let me bring this up as well, because don't squander it. Sometimes when you also have these wonderful things bestowed upon you, what happens with some people is they tend to squander it. You feel like, hey, I'm on this high-flying disc now, nothing can stop me and nothing can, knock me off of this. But remember that Jupiter in your financial house, your second house, will only be there for a period of time, just like Jupiter in your first house. Take advantage and make the most of every, like the first and second year are the most important when you're coming off the final descent. Like I said, these are building blocks to build for your future. Your journey ahead will be a lot smoother if you can put this on a solid ground. So when you get these opportunities, financial opportunities, these opportunities for stability and so forth, don't squander it. Just move into it and keep building. These are your building blocks. So look at it that way, that this is a building block, something I need to move, take with me forward into my future. So these are your opportunities, these are your chances. I say do not waste them on any kind of regrets from the past, or, trying to one-up anybody from, when they, did you dirty back in the day, a couple of years ago, or whenever. It's a good time to take this and take it as something that's going to build your confidence. There's a very fine line between cockiness and confidence. Do not roll into the cockiness. There is no need for that. Just take these opportunities, see them as gifts from the universe, personal gifts to you, and use those gifts to benefit you going forward. If you want to build a solid future, this is a good time. This is the time to lay down those foundations, and those building blocks will be there for you to build upon. But remember, you can't, there's no guarantees. So if you blow these opportunities that are before you, there's no guarantees you're going to keep having them come and come. Remember, the plane is just taking off now. So you're going to reach a point where these building blocks in the first and second house are going to become very important for your future ascension. So fresh choices are before you here, Taurus. Make the most of it, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys to pieces. I will be back with your weeklies at the end of the week, Friday or Saturday, and we'll carry it on. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you think of this. I want to hear from you, Taurians. Feel free to share your story, to share your opinions and your ideas about this. But that's what I have to say to you, and hallelujah. Congratulations again for making it through. The final descent can be a rough, rough time, but you know, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, right? Take care, much love. Star Lord is signing off for now. Bye-bye.